So as you can see, you guys, these are currently my brow. They look all messed up. I do have like a lower brow than the other one, a higher brow than the other one. Like they're very uneven. I kind of feel like The Rock all the time. But today I kind of wanted to show you a brow update just because a lot of people have been asking me for it. I'm doing a new brow method type thing that I saw on Instagram, and I want to share with you guys. So I actually have been trying to grow my brows, you guys, but I don't know what is it. The more that I try to grow my brow, like the more uneven it looks. They're very like straight, they have no arch. I practically always have to like fill in the shape of my brow. Like I have no shape right now, like it's just literally straight brow. I don't like my shape, if that makes sense. And the way that I'm going to be doing my brows is actually putting white concealer all around the brow and then cleaning it up. The concealer that I'm using today is actually this white concealer from SHOPMISSA, which looks like this. It's a UHC concealer, and this is in the color white. It's a very high coverage concealer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the white concealer. It's sort of like the last step that you do after doing your brows. I'm actually doing this as the first step, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and go around the brow. Just like that, you guys. So it's pretty simple what I'm showing you. And the good thing about this method is that I'm going around kind of dividing where I want to start plugging my hair, the unwanted hair. So as you can see, my hair is really black, so this white kind of like makes it easy to see my black hair where I want to start plugging. And now, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and brush it downwards, and I'm going to repeat the same step on the top. And as you can see, this is also a really good method to go ahead and kind of trim your brows if you would like to, which I'm gonna do next. But first, I'm just doing the first required steps. That makes sense. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the white on the top. And I'm not going very close to my hairline just because I want a little thicker brow. I don't like too thin. And I'm practically creating the shape that I really want. You see? I feel like this is so much easier, you guys, especially if you're trying to like reshape your brow or kind of get the perfect shape. Well, there's not such thing as perfect shape, but kind of get there a little bit, because brows can be very, very hard. So I feel like this method kind of like easier it up. That makes sense? Kind of like that, you guys. And as you can see, I already created a shape even without filling in my brows, so that's crazy. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and take my little spoolie and brush my hair downwards, and I'm gonna trim a little tiny bit. I don't want to cut too much off either, cause girl, I'm not a brow techie, so I'm not trying to be browless. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my little scissors. How cute are these little baby scissors, you guys? Like, I'm obsessed. This is how cute they are. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start trimming. And by the way, they're really good. Like, they're really cut. Again, I'm not cutting like very close to the hairline. I'm cutting like just like a little tiny trim, you guys. I'm not cutting too close to it, like just a little tiny tip. Let me see if I could just, okay, you could brush it up with a spoolie, thank God. And now I'm gonna brush the hair up. And once again, you guys, I am going to repeat the same steps. I do not like to cut too much. I only like to trim like literally the tiniest bit. Especially if you don't have a lot of hair, you do not want to go hairless, girl. So again, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little tiny trim. I feel like I'm sweating my ass off. And then of course, give it another little brush. If you need to go back, just go ahead and do a little more trimming. But I'm gonna stop here just because, girl, I'm not trying to be browless. Maybe a little here, like right there. And as you can see, you guys, I already have like a nice shrimp shape. This disgustingness versus this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in so you guys can really see the huge difference. So the brush that I've been using, you guys, is this brush from Morphe, and it's a double-ended brush. I love this brush since I've been using it. It's a bomb just because the way it's shaped and also how thin it is. I feel like I get a very precise line or shape when I'm using this brush on my brows. And you guys, this is my true OG. I would never like stop using this. This is my babe right here. I love this stuff so much. Believe it or not, you guys, I've been trying to preserve this little bit for a year now. Can you believe that? But I really need to invest in a new one just because, come on, come on, come on. Don't judge me. By the way, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade in the shade soft brown. And before anything, you guys, I always like to take my brush and kind of like pinch it like this to make it even thinner. I don't know, it's just my thing. I love doing it. And of course, make sure sure your brow is brush towel, oh my god, what is that? And dip my brush. With this, I love to fill in my brows. Like, I don't really like to shape it or anything like that. Like, I just start filling in the brow. The white concealer, it helps to see where I started and where I ended the hairline, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a very helpful guide, especially if you're a beginner. I really highly recommend this method. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in my brow just like normally, and I like to do like hair stroke like that. And for the front, I kind of do the little feathery thing as well, just little tiny strokes. And as you can see, I love the brow pomade because it just fills in. I feel like this is the perfect brow products for thick brows. Like, I have very dark hair and my hair is very thick, as you can see, you guys. What a difference. Oh my god. The next thing I like to take, you guys, is actually my SHOPMISSA little tree brow duo thingy majigget here. I've been using this for the longest. I feel like this is one of my favorite brow powder that I have ever tried in my life because it was only $1 and I still use it and it's almost a hit pan. But this is my main one. This is the one that I love so much. And again, I take the same brush, dip it in here, and then with this, I kind of shape the outer where my hairline ends on the brows. And this is what's going to create the shape and kind of give dimension to the brows. So again, I'm just going to go where my hairline is. Ooh, I just fucked it up. And again, I create my own little tail. For the top, I like to sometimes brush it down just so I can see where the line is, just because I really like to kind of like arch a little bit of the brow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with the powder. The powder is like what sets the pomade and create shape. And again, you want to create a little tail. And I do not touch the front when it comes with the powder. I just kind of like feather out with a spoolie like so. But I do go very heavy when it's for creating the arch brow. I kind of go a little above and beyond, especially because this brow is actually higher than this brow. This brow is actually really low, so this one kind of tends to look a little higher all the time than this one. So I had to really like be careful when I'm doing this one and make sure I lift this bitch up. And if, of course, if you start seeing your brows a little too thick, looking too crazy, and obviously you don't want this white cast around your brow because that would just look super unnatural. I like to go back with my actual concealer and then clean up like the final touches. So again, I like to use a little brush like this, but the final brush for me, this is what works because this is how I learned how to do it. And I'm actually using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I'm gonna dip my brush in it. And I'm gonna repeat the same process to clean up the brow. This is practically just to take the white stuff away. And of course, if you make any mistake and things like that, this is also very helpful. And again, I kind of do the same step on the top. I'm actually sweating right now, you guys, so this is a little harder. And sometimes I will also like to go with the same concealer brush and just kind of dust it on the front just to make it a little less like Sharpie looking. And practically you will just blend this in, just blend it down like that. It just blends everything out. And one final thing that I love to do, you guys, is actually apply some highlighter. I'm using the Sponjac Elsa Makeup Definition Palette in light to medium, and I love this highlighter here to use on my brow bone. Just called Icy Pink. It's such a beautiful highlight, you guys, and it's super pigmented. Like, look at that. It's freaking crazy. Like, this highlighter is actually really good for lighter skin tones. So I would just take a brush and apply it right on the brow bone, you guys, right here. So I like to apply it right on there, and I actually love how this looks on the brow. I feel like it gives kind of like lift at the brow. And of course, you guys can go ahead and tweeze out any unwanted hair you might not want before applying the highlighter on the brow, and you'll be ready to go, you guys, and you'll have a nice snatched brows. I think it came out really good. The white concealer might not be for everybody, but this is just a step that I highly recommend, especially if you want to do kind of a little trim on the brows, you want to kind of get a different shape, you want to like reshape your brow. The process is not as tedious as it might look here. Just because I'm explaining everything, I have to go a little slower and kind of do things a little slower, but when you're doing it yourself, it's kind of like quick and easy to do, especially if you have uneven brow. I highly recommend it because look at the difference, you guys. I mean, we're talking about from this craziness to you know, a pretty bump brow. If you like this video, subscribe and also thumbs up. If not, that's totally fine. Till next time, babes, I'll see you.